was watching a bunch of those Iceberg videos, um, like the Mario 64 Iceberg or the Zelda Iceberg. The video I watched in specific that inspired me to do this one, which was called the Half-Life Iceberg by townCACtus, which I'll leave in the description because, well, I mean, just paying respect or just being respectful. Anyway, I'm not gonna waste time here. Let's just get into it. Special poems refers to an occurrence in the game where, at certain points in the plot, the player will run into these special poems that are chosen at random. There are about 14 of them, and there's no way to trigger a specific one. Monika's glitching refers to an occurrence during Act 2 on the third day where Monika will, upon entering the club room, her sprite will be all glitched out. Sayori's cursor refers to an event in the game where the cursor will change into a glitched part of her head. Natsuki's eyes refers to an occurrence in the game where if Natsuki just hates your poem enough, in the second act, her eyes will just pop out of her head. She just doesn't like your poem that much. She hates it that much. She'll just pop out of her head. The red filter refers to an occurrence during Act 2 where it'll after closing out a special poem, the screen will have like a red filter applied to it, and all game sounds will be muffled as an ambience plays. After a few lines of dialogue, the screen should go black. Clicking out of that, it'll go back to normal. Yuri's glitching refers to an occurrence in the game where during day 3 of Act 2, upon entering the club room, when greeting the player, Yuri will have a glitched body and won't have a head. Corrupted Sayori's head could be referring to an occurrence during the final day of Act 1 where, if you check the game's files, you'll find a PNG file called Happy Thoughts. Although this also could be referring to the same thing as Sayori's head. Wait, no, I'm getting them mixed up. Hold on. I was talking about Sayori's drawing, not her head. My bad. Anyway, Sayori's drawing. It'll be an occurrence in the game where at the end of Act 1, you'll find an image in the game files. The black and white menu refers to an extremely rare occurrence in the game where, if you boot it up, instead of being met with a normal screen, you'll be met with a distorted version of the normal screen where the characters will have blacked out eyes and everything will be in black and white. The only way to exit this screen is by closing the game and opening it again. Monika's appearance could be referring to the fact that Monika has a slightly different appearance than the other Dokis, with all the uniforms being the same across all of them minus Monika. Another thing to know is that Sayori also has a slight difference as well, where Monika and Sayori are the only ones who actually go self-aware in the game. Monika and Sayori are also the only ones who have eye colors that differ from their hair colors. Could be a little bit of foreshadowing. Monika's Monika's sticker refers to an occurrence during day 3 of Act 2, where in the poem minigame, Monika's sticker will just bounce out of the bottom of the screen. If you attempt to cheat in the game, Monika will instantly recognize that, knock the player a little bit for trying and then closing the game. Unused contents could be referring to the unused beta sketches of certain scenes, like the characters and the scene where you're reading a book of Yuri, and the background image, which you can just go ahead and look up online, of a house. It was unused in the game. Yuri's photo or Yuri sticker refers to an occurrence in the game during Act 2. In the poem minigame, Yuri's sticker will not the wiki says distort, but I don't think that's the right word for it. It'll you ever seen the image of Jeff the Killer? Her face it'll look like that, as like someone photoshopped Jeff the Killer's face onto chibi Yuri. That's essentially what it looks like. It's rare. It's not too rare. It's like 1 in 4 chances of it happening. If you remove Monika.chr during Act 3, or just remove it from the game files, that'll progress you to Act 4. If you try to put the file back into the game during Act 4, Monika will just delete herself from the game. If the person or the player is recording during the start of Act 3, Monika will jump to the player and the audience. Now, I couldn't find anything about Monika's discrimination or Natsuki hunts, but Series last moments refers to during the end of Act 1. If you look closely at her body, if you look at her hands, they're a little bit bloody, which could be suggesting that she didn't exactly do it right and she ended up suffocating. Usually, when you do it, your neck's supposed to snap, but it shows that she might have not done it right and she tried to claw herself out of it before dying. Sayori's Big Boost also refers to another detail in the game where Sayori seems to at least have some pillows. She'll even refer to how they've gotten bigger since the last time. But during during the end of Act 1, she'll appear pretty flat. Now, I don't know if this is just a detail, which I'm not even doubting if it's just a small detail, because what seems so low, they're pretty. I'd be willing to believe that they put this in as a little detail, but it could also be a mistake. In my opinion, it could be a mistake, but I'm willing to say it's an actual little detail that the artist put in, which could be suggesting that she steps her chance to make herself look more appealing to MC. And speaking of MC, that brings us to our final bit of the video. And she tries to speak to us refers to an occurrence in the game where, or not an occurrence in the game, she's gotten so used to saying that, will refer to one of the Easter eggs during the .chr files. If you look at them, if you change them from .chr to PNG or PNG to text document or PNG, you'll get a secret message. One of them happens to be something addressed to the player themselves through Monika's file. There's a theory going around that it's Monika's, or it's not Monika, it's MC trying to speak to the player. I mean, it's definitely likely. We don't know exactly for sure who it is, but I'm willing to say it could be MC. I mean, it's entirely possible. Now, I mean, I probably made a few mistakes in this video, but if you notice anything, if you're wrong, please put it in the comments below, and I'll be sure to at least put a mention in the pinned comment. I hope you have all have an amazing... No. Screw amazing. I hope you all have an awesome day. I'll see you later.